Good morning, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and welcome to Money Chat Now. Money Chat Now is a politically charged stock market pre-show giving you the politics behind the biggest moves in the stock market. It is presented with comedic common sense by an expert in financial literacy, and hey, that's me, Larry Steinhouse. All right, today is Wednesday, January 26th, and of course I want to welcome you to the show. We are here live on WWDB Radio in Philadelphia, and we are live on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and YouTube. Of course, by the way, my Twitter handle on Twitter is @LarrySteinhouse, and you can find me on Facebook, TikTok, and other social media by searching for Larry Steinhouse. Just a reminder, if you're watching online, hit that like button, hit that share button. You know, I know when you share the show, and I know when you don't. So don't tell me you didn't. I know you did. All right, I think that's Mike saying hi. I appreciate it, man. Thanks so much. I see you on Facebook. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. And of course, you can comment live during the show on YouTube and LinkedIn and Twitter. And please say hi once again. We got Mick saying hi and we got Lewis saying hi. Thanks so much. I totally appreciate you guys. Hey, you can also attend a complimentary class this Thursday by going to investorschooling.com. And there you will learn about real estate investing and stock options trading from those who do it every day. I also want to remind people that tonight, we have an event at Chambers 19 in Doylestown, and we're going to be getting together for a meet and greet. We'll be there for a couple hours from 7 to 9, and you can come by, say hi, learn about real estate, learn about stock options. Just come by, say hi. And we'll also be serving some hors d'oeuvres as well. Hey, Wendy, and hey, Bill, thanks a lot for you guys watching. I totally appreciate it. Of course, today's show, we'll be discussing the futures update. We'll be discussing Biden and Russia. I love talking about Biden. It's just so much fun to call him President Poopy Pants. We'll be talking about the Fed meeting, Microsoft's earnings, and of course, more electric cars. All right, here we go. Let's talk about what's going on in the futures. Well, I got to tell you, when you look at the Dow going down 800 points, and then by midday you see it only down 300 points, you're like, wow, this is great. It's only down 300 points. It was down 800 points. And then about 3 o'clock, it's actually up over 100 points. You're like, wow, this is awesome. And then it goes down again, and it finishes only down 66 points. You're like, oh, it only finished down 66 points. Thank goodness. But your account is still down, but you're so happy that it's not down 800 points. The NASDAQ yesterday was still brutal. I can't believe it's being beat up like this. It was down about 450 points sometime around noon. And, oh, man, in 2 days, it's down over 700 points. I got to tell you, the fear in the market is absolutely silly at this point. The market is really reacting to two pieces of information, and they're givens. The first is that interest rates are going to rise. Hey, guys in the market, did you hear the rumor that interest rates are going to rise? Because if you didn't, hello, the rumor's been there for 6 months now, and this piece of information was definitely already given to us several times, and it's no surprise. The other is war. Whatever you want to call it, invasion or small party or whatever it is, that Russia's going to be owning Ukraine in a few hours of really nothing. I mean, I'm going to even be surprised if anybody even dies in that takeover. Well, these pieces of information should not be distorting the markets the way it has been, but it is. I mean, companies like Meta and Apple should be rising as we head towards earnings. Some companies are actually reporting good earnings, and that should launch the market up again, but they're not. I mean, American Express yesterday is actually up, but it finished 14 points up yesterday while the rest of the market stalled. J&J is another one that did really well after earnings report, and it was up over 4.5 points yesterday. I know, these are normally the earnings reports that make the market move up. The stocks are they're acting like islands right now. Look, the market's going to calm down shortly, and this madness is going to end. The only question is if it's going to end with the market going up or the market going down. Look, right now, the Dow is actually up 314 points, the S&P is up 54, and the NASDAQ blows my mind, it's up 244 points. It's weird. It looks like it's going to be a good day, but who knows? Hey, I want to say hello to Bill out there, and I think I said hello to Wendy already, and Ken and Jose. Thanks, guys. I totally appreciate you. I see Jose is watching on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. I totally appreciate it. All right, let's talk about Biden and Russia. Once again, President Poopy Pants was discussing the Russia-Ukraine situation, and this weak excuse for a president can't stop saying dumb stuff. Like, it would be the largest invasion since World War II, said President Braindead. I mean, really, why would he say stuff like that? It's just so unnecessary. And then he continues and says, it would change the world if the tens of thousands of Russian troops who have been amassing the Russian-Ukraine border were to launch an incursion into Ukraine territory. These are the kind of statements that remind me of the ridiculous predictions of COVID. Hey, President Braindead, you really are dumb. I hate to tell you this, but Russia is already halfway into their invasion. Do you actually think the leaders of Ukraine and Putin haven't been talking? This won't be a hostile takeover. It'll be a quick siege or even an agreement that Russia and Ukraine will work out together. Ukraine has no choice because you refuse to help them anyway. And Russia is laughing all the way to the border. They're going, hey, we got President Braindead. We used to have Trump. We worried about him, but Braindead, he ain't going to do a thing. Biden has repeatedly pledged to not send American or NATO troops into Ukraine, but he recently directed the Pentagon to ready, not send, but ready 8,500 U.S. soldiers for potential deployments to the NATO-allied countries in Eastern Europe. Seriously, he's sending troops not to Ukraine and thinks this is going to scare Putin into not invading Ukraine? I mean, I don't even understand why Putin didn't just say, let's just go into Ukraine and make a fool out of everybody. I swear, it's like watching a Bugs Bunny cartoon with Biden playing the part of Elmer Fudd. Shh, be very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits. Speaking of famous hunter, does an invasion of Ukraine by Russia mean that Hunter Biden will be now out of a job? By the way, Biden also said this when asked whether the odds of an invasion had increased or decreased in recent days. Biden said it was difficult to predict Putin's next move. It's a little bit like reading tea leaves, said brain-dead Biden. Really, that's what he said. It's a little bit like reading tea leaves. Ordinarily, he continued, with a different leader, the fact that he continues to build forces along Ukraine's border from Belarus all the way around, you'd say, well, that looks like he's going to do something. Yeah, I read that just the way it was dictated. Unbelievable. Besides the beginning being completely incomprehensible, the last sentence really made me laugh, so I'll repeat it. Well, it looks like he's going to do something. Duh? Really? Did the tea leaves tell you that, Biden? By the way, Biden was in a local store. You can't make this stuff up. Biden was in a local store when he was discussing this with reporters and continued to say there will be enormous consequences if Putin, of course, were to go in and invade the entire country, or a lot less than that as well. All right, for Russia, he goes on, for Russia, not only in terms of economic consequences, but political consequences, but enormous consequences worldwide. They're going to yell at him, he said. Now, remember, he was in this shop when he's doing this. So he said all this while he was buying a sweatshirt, a necklace, and I can't believe it, a mug with the face of Kamala Harris on it. Yes, I said that correctly. He was buying a mug with a picture of Kamala Harris on it. Anyway, strategically, Ukraine is a good move for Russia, and it makes the neighboring countries like Poland, Hungary, and Romania nervous if Russia owns Ukraine. And I'm going to tell you right now, because these are NATO-allied countries, the United States and the other allies will defend the other countries if necessary. And I mean, seriously, do you really think that Russia's going to go to war with these countries? No, they just want Ukraine. And I got to tell you, I don't believe that this is something we really need to worry about in the near future. I'm going to say within 3 weeks, Ukraine is going to belong to Russia, and Ukraine will be fine with it. Nothing is going to happen here. Hey, I want to say hello to Carrie. Thanks for watching, Carrie. And I want to say hello to Charles. I mean, it just blows my mind what's going on. All right, let's talk about the Fed meeting. All right, so the market is on edge as the Federal Reserve is expected to signal at its meeting this week that it is ready to raise interest rates as soon as March. Do I really need the Fed to tell me that? I don't know. Anyway, other policy tightening is also expected, reversing, of course, the policies it put in place to fight the scamdemic. The Fed begins its two-day meeting Tuesday, and on Wednesday afternoon, which is today, the central bank is expected to issue a new statement that shows its resolve to fighting inflation. Bah, bah, bah. Stop it, inflation! Hey, why don't they use the troops from Ukraine to fight inflation? That might actually work. All right, this is expected, but still, we saw the market go nuts this week over this entire thing, and I still don't get it. The Fed has found itself in its first major battle with inflation in decades. So the number one problem, of course, in the country is, like I said, inflation. So by the way, did I just hear Biden say, "What a stupid son of a bitch," when I said the word inflation? Anyway, the biggest inflation problem with the Fed and the markets is concentrating on mostly the housing market. As for me, the biggest inflation problem I see is that French fries at McDonald's are now over $3.50 for a medium. Oh, and what about the price of soda? Anyway, wow. All right, the Fed will also start selling off their assets in an attempt to reduce their balance sheet. This will lower the price of bonds and cause the interest rate known as yield to increase. So between the raising of interest rates and the selling of their assets, I'm going to tell you, you can expect a quick increase in mortgage rates in 2022 and 2023. Now, my fear is that they took too long to do this. I've been saying interest rates should have been raised 6 years ago, and we should never have had these low rates. What are you going to do when the next problem happens? You're not going to be able to solve it by lowering interest rates. However, I'm going to tell you right now, I am taking advantage of it, and I'm refinancing all the properties that I can before the change. I've also been suggesting to you to do the same for a few months now, and there's still time. Get in there and do it. The stock market's going to adjust to the new rates, and everything will be normal again. The question is when. The Fed will be reporting their conclusion today sometime, and I'm going to tell you they're expecting anywhere from 3 to 4 interest rate hikes. They will probably raise the rates a quarter of a point each time, and to make the pain gradual. When they stop, it'll probably be mid-2023, and they'll stop or pause for a little while. I also believe that this will be the end of the boom economy. So we're already seeing signs of that. Look, if you're a fan of the show, you've heard me say several times to be prepared with precious metals, cash, and available lines of credit. The bargains are going to be here in the next 2 years, and if you know how to buy them and you have the means, you'll be very rich in 10 years. And if you want to learn more about how to do that, you're going to watch this commercial and you're going to call Investor Schooling. We'll see you in a minute.
So you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start? Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from 2 Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhouse, about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
Welcome back to Money Chat Now. I am your host, Larry Steinhouse. And of course, if you'd like more information on investor schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829, 866-424-2829. Hey, I want to thank you all for listening on WWDB Radio in Philadelphia. I heard now there's 8 people listening to the show. There used to be 7, so thank you all on WWDB Radio. Thanks to all 8 of you for listening. Hey, if you're watching online, please hit that share button so you can help your friends learn about how to make more money. Hit that like button and let me know you're enjoying the show. You can also leave comments on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and YouTube, and of course, I'll try to respond to them. Hey, I want to say to little Joe and Tommy and Carrie, thanks for everybody over there. Joe says no fries for you because he knows I'm on a diet. I got to lose 40 pounds. All right. So far we've been discussing the futures update, and right now the futures are up 326 points in the Dow. The S&P is up 58, and the NASDAQ is up 264. What a crazy, crazy time. We talked about how the fact that Biden is clueless when it comes to Russia. We talked about the Fed meeting and their possibility of 3 or 4 interest rates rising this year. Everyone knows that. Stop it. So coming up, we're going to be talking about Microsoft earnings and, of course, more electric cars. And then we'll be talking about today's picks and plays. But come on, guys. Did you guys hit that share button yet? Hey, Carrie, hit that share button. Tommy, hit that share button. Joe, Jane, hit that share button. I'll know that you did it. I'll be able to see it. All right. Don't forget to leave comments on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube and Twitter. And, of course, if you're listening on WWDB Radio, be sure and set a preset to the station and listen every day at 7:30. Also, when you get home, look up the Money Chat Now page on Facebook and let me know what you think of the show. You know, the more you like it, the more I'm going to keep doing it. All right, let's get into the second half, and let's talk about Microsoft's earnings. All right, wow, yesterday I was so excited. Ugh. Microsoft announced their earnings report after the bell yesterday, and it was a good one. Yay! The earnings were 2,048% per share adjusted versus 2.31 a share. So basically what was expected was 2.31. They did 2.48. The revenue was 51.73 billion versus 50.88 billion. And that was the 50.88 was expected, and they blew it away. The stock initially dropped on market worries. However, it bounced back on good guidance. Their revenue even increased by 20%. I'm going to tell you right away, Microsoft is a leader in several areas such as operating systems, office software, cloud services, and of course now gaming. This is clearly not the same company that Bill Gates started and has leveraged itself to being a behemoth. Look, it's a great sign that tech stocks are going to rebound this week, and it was a tough 2 weeks of earnings. Man, but this one gives me hope. I got to tell you, Apple's earnings are tomorrow, and I also expect that to pop also as well. Hey, I have a new listener or a new viewer, I guess. Harold, say, hey, Harold, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. All right, let's talk about more electric cars. So it seems that every car company is jumping on the bandwagon to manufacture electric cars. Look, most are also saying that they will no longer make internal combustion engines at all, leaving all the cars electric in the future. Look, Tesla is the obvious leader in this, but we have seen Ford, Volkswagen, Hyundai, Dodge, and GM make a push for all-electric cars by the end of the decade. Now, Bentley, one of the high-line luxury car brand, is also making a pledge to go all-electric. Look, they have actually made a $2.5 billion investment in the electric car arena and also plan to have all their cars electric by 2030. I don't know. Have you noticed that there are more Bentleys on the road lately? Every once in a while I see that symbol. Sometimes it looks like the Hyundai Genesis symbol, but most of the time it's the Bentley symbol. You notice that there's more on the road lately? Like many of the luxury brands, the brand realized that they can use the leverage of what used to be an exclusive club of people owning cars like Bentley and Maserati and make them more affordable for mainstream buyers, and it worked. As I ponder, by the way, the electric car movement, I think about how many people actually fill up their tanks every day on their way to work. Now, I do realize that most will charge their car overnight, and most will have a full charge in the morning, and they'll be able to get to their local location or work. But seriously, what about the people who drive many miles to get to work, or even more, the people who drive to travel destination? Now, I'm sure you've noticed more and more charging stations being built, but still, if you think about a motel that has maybe 50 rooms, if all the occupants had an electric car, they would need to have 50 charging stations, right? So are they going to be able to put an electric charging station in every parking spot? Even if the plan is yes, who's going to pay to install them? Now, I do realize that brain-dead Biden wants to install many of the chargers with his new infrastructure bill, and I like the idea. But has anybody thought about how long that's going to take and how expensive it's going to be? And what about the obvious decline in the economy that's coming? Won't this make it harder to install charging stations in the near or mid-future? Look, like I said, I'm a future-thinking person, and I love the idea of electric cars, but until the problems of charging them and keeping them charged solved, I'm going to keep my internal combustion engine for a while. Look, I've said this before. I also suggest that you have at least one older car. I don't care where you put it on the grass. It doesn't even matter. That still uses gasoline just in case. Look, we have been seeing power grid attacks. We've been seeing all kinds of attacks on the grid. And look, what a great way to destroy the economy by taking down the power grid, even if it's just for a few weeks. On the other hand, Mother Nature is also a problem and can take down the power grid in several areas for a day at a time. My next car is actually probably going to be a normal gas-powered car, but I suspect that, probably in about 2 years, I probably will make the move to electric. By the way, do you have an electric car right now? Let me know if you have an electric car. Let me know what you think of it, and let me know what you have. And we're going to be back in just a few seconds.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start? Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from two Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhouse, about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
Welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. And of course, if you'd like more information on investor schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829, 866-424-2829. All right, so far we've been discussing the futures update, and right now the Dow is up 343 points, the S&P is up 58.5, and the NASDAQ is up 266.5 points. The NASDAQ is crazy. All right, anyway, we've been talking about also Biden and he's being too weak of a leader to stop Russia. Russia's already in Ukraine. I don't think we've gotten the news yet. We talked about the Fed meeting and the fact that the Fed will be raising interest rates 3 or 4 times next year. We talked about Microsoft earnings, and we talked about electric cars. So we have a couple of people out there who's saying that they have electric cars, and my wife is asking me if I'm going to get a Mach-E, which is that Mustang. Why did they call it that? Actually, I don't know. At the same time, it's brilliant. All right, and also coming up, we're going to be talking about today's picks. But first, did you guys hit that like button? Come on, everybody, hit that like button, hit that share button. Let everybody know what great stocks plays are coming by sharing this information. And you could share it in your page or groups that you feel will benefit from the great stock plays. And of course, you can leave comments on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and LinkedIn. Hey, Tommy says there's probably going to be a Tesla hotel that has all charging stations. Are the charging stations going to be connected to the bed so I can recharge my brain too? Because the chips are going to be in my head soon? All right. Or is that the chip that comes from the vaccine? All right, of course, if you're listening on WWDB Radio, set one of your presets to this channel and listen every day at 7:30. All right, let's talk about what's going on. So this week in the stock market so far, it was like an exciting football game where your team is down 14 points going into the fourth quarter and comes back for the win. Yeah! You know what my wife just said? She just said, "What do you know about football?" Hey, honey, I listen to you every once in a while. Anyway, what a wild ride that started last Thursday. Holy cow, when the market popped and then reversed quickly. You know, there really wasn't any reason for this erratic behavior, and hopefully it's over. Today we have some interesting earnings reports due. Tesla, we were just talking about that, is due after the bell. And I'm going to tell you, I think Tesla's run is about over, but the report will probably be a good one. I don't think Tesla's going out of business. I just think that, their crazy run is over. I don't think the stock's going to pop, but we'll see. We also have Intel, AT&T, and Boeing, who just released their earnings, and Boeing actually reported a profit. And I'm going to look forward to seeing how the stocks do. The Boeing report just came out, so I don't know what the stock's going to do. And it could actually be the reversal of the horrible market we've seen this month. And as I said before, January is usually a great month, but it didn't happen. So now I'm going to be confused about February, which is often a bad month. So maybe, I don't know, maybe the markets will change places. I don't know. We'll see, but I'm stuck in a couple of plays, and hopefully I'll be able to get out. All right. So let's talk about crypto. All right. So is crypto going to come back? It's inching up, but it's still about 50% lower than it was at the peak. Bitcoin is moving back into the 40,000s, and Ethereum is back over 2,500. You know, the little junk coins that I have are stalling out, but hey, let's go Shiba Army. Shiba Army, let's go Shiba Army. Let's go Hoodlers. Like, as I've said before, I own some crypto, but I really own it just for fun. I really don't feel it's a sustainable investment, but what do I know? I just don't know if it's sustainable, but I did throw about 20 grand at it. I pulled out my original 20 grand, and I still have about 18,000 in mixed coins, some Ethereum, some Shiba, whatever. All right. Look, maybe I'm going to get lucky, and maybe one of them will become Bitcoin or do what Bitcoin did a few years ago and become major. So gold and silver are also inching up, and the metals are being ignored right now. And I'm going to tell you, when they're ignored, that's the time to buy them. I could easily see gold hitting 2,500 before the end of the year, and silver sustaining over 30. I also have to say that this is a great play if you want to have a diversified portfolio. So the Treasury bond is kind of stuck below the 1.8% level, and hopefully Wall Street is going to get used to the new levels. I still think it's going to drop one more time, but I could be wrong. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Hey, all right. By the way, before we finish for the day, I want to remind you guys about about the fact that we're going to be at Chambers 19 tonight in Doylestown. So if you want to come by and visit, I'll be wearing one of my fun jackets, and you'll be able to see me and meet me and greet me. Who cares? But if you guys are students, or if you guys want to, if you haven't met me for the first time, please come to Chambers 19. We'll be there from 7 to 9. I also want to thank all the listeners on WWDB Radio in Philadelphia, and I want to thank you for your continued support. And of course, if you're enjoying the show, please reach out and let us know. You can leave comments on the WWDB fan page, and you can also look for us online. My name is Larry Steinhouse, and I am the host of Money Chat Now. And of course, I also have a book coming out. So if you guys haven't ordered the book yet, come on, order my book. Let's go. So my book is called Money Hacks, and of course, it is at barnesandnoble.com, and you can pre-order it. I'm going to tell you right now, I think it's under 20 bucks. Whatever it is, it's under 20 bucks, but I promise you're going to learn so many things about money that you're going to be so glad you read this book. Pre-order it right now, and I promise you're going to learn it. I promise. And also, if you've been listening, you know that my accountant has confirmed that it might be tax deductible. So there you go. Hey, I got a couple of people online saying they're going to see me then, and make sure you guys see me at Chambers tonight. And Tommy wants to remind me that my good friend Chris Nogla also has a book coming out. So Tommy, I don't know if you know that Chris and I are planning on writing a book together, and we're going to talk about that in the future as well. All right. From time to time, I own some of the assets and options discussed in this show. The options discussed in this show are solely mine, and no one has asked me to discuss them. And you guys know that I love to invest in stock options. I love to invest in real estate. And if you want to learn how to invest in real estate and learn how to invest in stock options, go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a free class. I'm hoping to see you guys at Chambers tonight. And of course, make it a profitable day.